Let's talk about John Wick 4. Come on.
Yeah. Amazing. This was absolutely insane. For me, it's the mix of pure spectacle, like stunts that we've never seen before, like the old Ong Bak movies, just like insane stunts where like it's like a demo reel of insanity. It's that spectacle mixed with high-level choreography, martial arts skills, and filmmaking, just cinematic luster, cinematic language, color theory. You usually don't get this level of cinematic language in a purely action film, just celebrating the juiciness of the martial arts, the culture of the martial arts. People keep asking me if the martial arts are good in John Wick. I haven't really thought about it. Actually, I have thought about it quite a bit, in fact, and they're fantastic. Yeah, they're amazing. I've got about 15 years of experience in Kung Fu. I lived in the Shaolin Temple in China. Check out my popular documentary where I show the entire experience at the Yunnan Shaolin Temple. And if you want to see some more martial arts action, make sure to check out my new short film, Trial of the Four Masters, which I filmed over in China. It was an absolute blast, and there's some really fun action in there. We had a good time with it. I really think this is one of the best stunts and choreography and camera choreography, the filmmaking side of it, and the cinematography, the color theory. I really think it is some of the best ever put to film. But then, you know, we have everything in this movie. Like, it really covers all the bases of martial arts. We have, you know, like I said, we have Kung Fu on showcase. We have sword fights. We have katana. We have obviously marksmanship, like times 1,000 with a variety of different weapons. We have bow and arrow. We have just like boxing and MMA. The list is extensive. Obviously, as far as specific martial arts, there was a couple of great showcases. Of course, having Donnie Yen in here. I loved his showcase of, like, we got like a Donnie Yen reel of references to his past film work, which he always loves to do. He's like his signature moves, right? And at one point, he just like, just like stuns somebody and then just lights them up with like 20 chain punches to the face, and then finishes off with his like infamous wind up haymaker. And it was just so awesome, man. And to see that, like, multiple references to Donnie Yen films in one thing, you know, the chain punch, Wing Chun, obviously referencing Yip Man, and it was just so much fun. So many legends of the martial arts community like Donnie Yen, Scott Adkins. It's just so amazing to see all this come together while maintaining both a fun atmosphere. It's also fun. It's not overly gory, which is one of the reasons I love the John Wick franchise. It's not just disgusting. It's not reveling in the gruesomeness. It's reveling in the martial arts skills, and it's like a showcase of the training. And you'll see Keanu Reeves do this training, right? So it's like a showcase of that kung fu, of that hard work, that effort, that time. So it maintains that fun factor, absurd alternate universe, and the lore of this world. There's this fantastic world building in this. It's like a fantasy novel level of world building in it. But on top of all that, still remains emotional. It still remains human. There's so much humanity in this final chapter, specifically Donnie Yen and Keanu. You know, we talk about the skills they put in, the time they put in, but the performance and the story of this is magnificent. From the first scene where we see Donnie, you see this just really, like, you know, heartfelt performance and such human reasons for everything that's being done here. And it's so incredible to me that all this comes together to just deliver, like, you know, this smorgasbord of spectacle, of skills, of filmmaking. It's all so high level, and I'm incredibly impressed with it. I literally have no notes. And the cool thing is it's not just that they're incredibly done, like the time, the effort, the choreography, the martial arts filmmaking, every camera choreography is absolutely mind-boggling, but it retains this feeling of fun. A lot of people love historical accuracy in martial arts in film. While I'm all for that, I think it's awesome. What's super important for filmmaking side of things, for storytelling, is that you have to make it entertaining too, and especially for people who don't practice martial arts, which is by large the majority of people, right? So if you strike that perfect balance of sort of martial arts accuracy and you also inject into it a feeling of entertainment, of spectacle, of luster, which just, it elevates it for me. And there's a very fine balance to strike, right? Sometimes you can go a little too far and it seems too far fetched, and it can take you out of it. If you go too far on the other side, you have what seems just like, you know, you're watching a real war or something, which is important for historical films that are trying to, you know, evoke a strong feeling of anti-war and stuff like that. That's really important. You want to show just how horrible it is, and you don't want to make it glorious. You don't want to make it like beautiful and fun as John Wick is, right? So that's important in another way. But if you do that for a film like John Wick, you lose something there, and it's not fun anymore, right? So in my opinion, you don't want to be just 100% perfect martial arts. The perfect example is the scene with the nunchaku, and I've trained nunchaku myself. It's a fantastic weapon to train, and in the film you'll see Keanu Reeves. He's doing a lot of cool stuff, and it's actually quite utilitarian, the moves that he does. Like, he doesn't do a lot of flourishes and stuff like you see Bruce Lee do, which we all love. But what I love about it is there is one scene, it's the last thing he does, where he just, boom, just smacks this guy in the face, and there's just all over the glass. Like, it's horrifying. That's really what would be happening every hit with wooden nunchuck. If you've ever trained, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They are a devastating weapon. Anyone who's ever trained with, like, you know, the practice plastic ones and almost knocked yourself out, like, they are dangerous. They generate so much force, you would not believe it. It's the pure physics of this weapon. But anyway, I guess my point is that's probably what would be happening every hit. You want to have these cool choreography. But this scene in particular, I remember Juanito telling me, he's like, man, it wasn't even the fight. It was the build up to the fight. It's just so well shot. Like, there's a shot of the fan from overhead with just a contrasting shadow of the fan, just like encompassing everyone at the table. And you can just tell there's this foreboding tension building up and everything. So well shot and so well performed by everybody. And Scott Adkins, man, like, he can act, man. He's a fantastic actor. He's so good at accents in all of his different films. But that aside, this scene perfectly encapsulates everything I'm talking about. The spectacle of you know, amazing martial arts being done in this heavy suit. Also, you have the beautiful color theory and these just incredibly crafted images in every shot being combined with incredible choreography. And, like, by the way, they were doing crazy choreography in front of like 100 extras who were like dancing and everything. As I'm watching, I'm like, oh my goodness, this must have taken so long. Like, oh man, I hope they rehearsed this a million times. It was just like the spectacle of it, the pure spectacle, and the pure balls of it was insane. But anyways, perfect color theory, choreography, spectacle, fun, and again, it has that martial arts that I talked about, that amazing skill level. But it's not just like some, you know, like watching a master perform in the very, like, kind of documentary style way. It somehow is so entertaining and otherworldly and ridiculous in the most fun, and somehow it doesn't suspend your disbelief. Like, you believe this alternate universe, you believe this world because the world building is so well done. And I think they nailed absolutely everything. We have so much going on in this film. It's just like, it's just a spectacle, and that's what's cool is the variety of it. And every single scene, we're getting all this different stuff. And the perfect sort of example is the entire Osaka section, which is like the first act of the film, essentially. That's like a film in itself, man. We have all these characters and these, like, kind of mini character arcs that are fulfilled in the Osaka section. We have bow and arrow, and we have marksmanship. We have Donnie Yen fighting with, like, sound as his ally, and it's just so well done. We have the nunchaku section, all these different weapons, so extensively explored, and they're not afraid. This is what I love about it being directed by, you know, former stunt performer, is that, you know, they're not afraid to say, we're gonna take 5 minutes and do like a showcase of this epic fight, when any other filmmaker back in the day would have been like, no, it's got to be, you know, 10 seconds. Cut that 5 minutes out so we can save time. And that's why I'm glad this film is, I think it's almost 3 hours. It was amazing to just be like, all right, yeah, but this is the final one, man. This is the finale of John Wick. We are going to go hard. We're going to explore this. And that's, again, what I said earlier, the level of care taken with the characters and the emotions of it. And I love, just from a writing standpoint, I was guessing up until the last second what was going to happen with the sort of final fight, the final duel. And it was so well showcased and so well planned that, you know, all those things I listed to still have me on the edge of my seat with the story, with the characters, and what's going to happen to John Wick, you know, what's going to be his conclusion here. So nothing but good things to say about it. The martial arts are, I mean, come on, it's one of the best. Check out my new action film, Trial of the Four Masters, that I released just a few days ago. Make sure to check it out. Filmed it in China. It was a blast. And just what a magnificent franchise. To get better every film is a very rare thing. It's essentially unheard of, right? And what a great franchise. To see it mature and grow and then just keep expanding every time has been such a pleasure. So I loved it. Nothing but good things to say about it. And I hope there's more John Wick in the future. Is it over? Is it not over? Who knows? But I thought it was fantastic. Let me know if you agree with me. If you have any questions for me, I'd love to answer it. Like I said earlier, check out my documentary. That's going to be it. Thanks, guys. Make sure to sub if you want to see more of this sort of business. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around town.